You're watching YanaTV.
Hi, this is Yana and you're watching YanaTV. And today we have with us an incredible woman, Lynn Rose. So Lynn. And Lynn is an entrepreneur, entertainer, and TV host. And she came to Singapore all the way from Los Angeles. So I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much being with us today, Lynn.
Thank you. I'm so excited because we set that intention when we met each other in the U.S.
We did. It was exactly 9 months ago.
Amazing. You said, you got to come to Singapore, being on the TV show. I said, I'd love to. But we'll see how we're going to come to Singapore. And then 9 months later.
Here you are. The opportunity just come. This, guys, what happens when you believe in your dreams and you set the right intention.
Yes, exactly.
And today, Lynn, I know you're a role model, you inspire many. And at the same time, I'm sure it was not always like that.
Yes, of course.
So, because each woman and each man have a story.
Yes, indeed.
And I really would love for you to share with us what is your story.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I believe our path is kind of informed by our experience, right? Our mess is our message.
Yes.
Well, when I came out of the womb, I was like this happy child. I wanted everybody else to be happy. And I think we're all like that. We have wonder. But then something happens as we go along, right? That starts shutting us down.
The life that's coming.
And depending how we respond and what happens. And, of course, I have my story. And that's why we're here. So I loved my parents, and my dad was this charismatic, amazing man and a Renaissance man, and my mom so full of life and teacher, but they separated. And at that time, it hit me hard. My handwriting changed overnight to from perfect to messy and all that type of thing.
You really took it in.
I really took that in.
But how old you are?
At that point, I was in first grade.
Okay.
And then in second grade, right before my birthday, right before the end of a school year, right before piano recital, my dad, who had now been living in Michigan, and I was in Baltimore with my mom, and that was about a 10-hour drive. He snuck into the house when my mom was gone and basically abducted my sister and I, and left a note that just said, "Karen, I've taken the kids."
Oh my God, I'm like, my hair stood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I think about it, what really hits me hard now is for my mom to come home and find that. But he was like a man on a mission, just drove 10 hours, and we're like, well, what's going on? And he said, just not a word, And so then we were with him for a year and a half, about a year and a half, and didn't see our mom in that period of time. And
did you go to school?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did. I had 2 more weeks left of school at that particular school year, and then just started school that next year. And he was also an alcoholic, which has its own inherent challenges. But
I can relate to that in my own family.
You can, yes.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he was an irresponsible parent, but I loved him.
Yeah.
But as a little kid, you're saying, why is mom not coming and stealing us back? Where's mom? Where's mom? So then inevitably something happens where you feel that impact. Okay, I guess I don't matter. I guess I'm not lovable. And dad would be off and, probably at the bar drinking or wherever he was. So we were sometimes roaming the neighborhood, till late at night by ourselves as kids. But so eventually the court stepped in and we got reunited with my mom. And my dad started getting his act together. So we're like, yay, life is coming together. That's wonderful. And then when I was in 5th grade, the end of my 5th grade year, right before, I guess between 5th and 6th grade, my dad flying from his plane, he was in the Marines, from one base to another, his plane crashed and he was killed. And when that happened, I completely shut down from the inside. I numbed out. And I tucked who I was way in the background. And I was like, you can just look at the outside, but don't get to know who I am and not really show who I am. Just control everything on the outside and tucked away. And thankfully, because I had, talent and I loved to sing and put on shows and things like that, I did a lot of Broadway, TV, and film.
Yeah.
But a Broadway show about my 24 or so, my past caught up to me, along with current circumstances. And a Broadway show ended suddenly. And it was like a trigger that then made me shut down now from the outside along with the inside. And I could no longer sing. I could barely get sound out. I got completely frozen with fear. and my eyes would dart around, and lost all confidence, and I had to leave the entertainment industry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I became a waitress, and I was a horrible waitress, which didn't help. I was a horrible waitress, and I have such great respect for waitresses because I know the hard work that they do. So
Why were you such a horrible waitress?
I don't know. I think it's because I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be
Right.
here.
You should be singing on Broadway and being a superstar.
And I was already so shut down on the outside too, and you're having to deal with people.
Of course.
But I took that period of time though, and really tucked away. So I spent those 2 years diving deep inside, allowing myself to be with my pain, to process my pain. I always loved self-development books, personal growth books. So I read Wayne Dyer and Leo Buscaglia since I was a little girl. But then I really dove inside at that point. And eventually I found my way through it. I started getting stronger, finding my courage, still terrified, but now started allowing myself to put myself out there again. And at one point an audition came up, and I showed up for it, but I was sick. And I think because I was sick, some of those walls came down a little bit, so I was able to get some sound out.
Yeah, that's what usually happens, because when you're ill, you don't have that much energy, right? So you have to focus on one thing, it was performance.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't get in my head about here, and thankfully it worked. I got hired. And toured then all around the U.S. And I remember saying, as God is my witness, I shall never waitress again. And from that point forward, I got to, make my living entirely from being an entertainer and then eventually an entrepreneur. And my career now happened from a place of really connecting, allowing myself now not just look at the outside, but now from the inside, really connecting heart to heart with an audience or a camera. And, it's layers and layers. It was strengthening and strengthening. But my performing elevated. But I got to a point where then it wasn't enough. I wanted to give back. I had all those walls I had started to learn how to dance with or navigate with. And I loved the world of personal growth. So eventually I formed my own radio show on personal achievement, and I ended up getting nationally syndicated. It became nationally syndicated. I got
great achievement.
Yes, and I got to work with all my heroes that I'd been reading and listening to and learning from to grow, like Brian Tracy, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins. The list goes on.
Yes.
And from there, I then got mentored by my heroes and shown how to be an infopreneur, an entrepreneur. And I knew that I wanted to give back from what I had gone through. And so I then brought that to the work that I do now. And one of the things that I do is called the WOW Factor. And WOW is an acronym for Without Walls. And
that's very symbolic for you, huh?
Yes, right. Without walls. And I really feel like when we're able to dissolve those walls that stand in our way, and we know how to dance with them. It's not making them go away necessarily, but being able to, it's almost like a sliding glass door, to be able to move it past so that we can connect to our purpose, connect to another human being, connect to a relationship, connect to an audience, a camera. So that's I just love being able to do what I do. And I had another layer of being able to dissolve my walls because I love to give back, right?
Yes.
And I think that's actually a really healing point for us all. When we give back, we're taking the focus off ourselves
and our own pain.
Yes,
on somebody else.
Onto somebody else. And so I went to Sudan and worked with the refugees in 2008. Yeah, and talk about connection. They're in some of the worst possible circumstances and pain you could ever imagine, and yet they so look at you with the most purest, alive eyes. They're so connected. And I just felt all those walls start dissolving all the more for myself. And ever since then, I'm driven to be able to get back in whatever way.
Oh my God, Lynn, thank you. This is such an incredible story. I'm totally inspired. And I have a few questions.
Yes.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask?
Absolutely.
So the first question, you were sharing that you went for 2 years during that healing process, right? When you completely shut down from the world and you read books and you were trying to process it.
Yeah.
So can you share with us what actually worked What specifically
Yeah.
did you either read or did?
Yes.
Or is there a specific tool or moment that facilitated that shift
Yeah.
that you felt that you're on the path to healing?
Well, to be frank, while I was doing the Broadway show, I was doing cocaine, and I was also bulimic. And I stopped cocaine right away, cold turkey, never looked back. And that was like, I'm never doing that again. And I think about that and go, who was that person? But to deal with my eating issue, the bulimia.
Oh, you look gorgeous. I never thought you would have any of those issues, okay?
Thank you. I know, well, we work on our stuff, right? So I went to OA, Overeaters Anonymous, 12-step program. And at first I went 3 times a day, just so I could get through each moment, to get through the day without turning to that. And then I ended up to where I got stronger and went once a day, and then maybe 3 times a week, and then once a week. And finally got to a point where I went, it's not who I am anymore. But that process of where the 12-step program takes you through, it's a deeply internal processing. You know, you deal with your pain, you connect with others, you make right your wrongs. There's so much that you do. And so that was really a huge driving healing force for me.
Wow. But I would think that it requires a lot of shift in the mindset, right? Because many people, when they're in pain, they believe that they're going to handle it themselves, right? That I'm strong enough and I'm going to go on it on my own.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's very rarely when it actually really happens. And people just keep digging their holes. Yes. So the fact that you had enough courage and awareness that you want to reach out to people and you want to trust in the system that is around for many, many years and has many results. And, you did this step. So I find that's incredible.
And you know what? Thank you. And that's a beautiful reflection back. And what I think also the power of their steps and a process, which we all bring to the work we do when we help people, right? But also community.
Yeah.
So there was a community of support. There was accountability. And I think that's really important. And the reaching out, because you're right, we retreat and we contract, we constrict, that just creates even more constriction.
Yes.
But when we have the courage to reach out, and even if someone's helping us, guiding us, to have that connection, that really helps.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Lynn. What would be the one message, maybe that you want to share with women who are maybe going through similar paths that you went through?
Or whatever challenge may be feeling like they've lost who they were, or that now it's too late and they wish they had the courage before. I would say it's never too late to become who you might have been. It's never too late to become who you are. That's one of my favorite quotes, because it doesn't matter what age or what we've been through, we can actually transform our pain to become a driver. It deepens us, and you can rise above. I mean, when I was younger, my sister was this amazing singer, and I thought, I can only just sing soprano. I wish I could sing pop and blues like her, but I can't. And after I went through that 2 years of healing and coming back in, I went, I'm going to try it. And now, I get to sing that way. I get to be fearless on stage. But when I was younger, looking at that, I thought, there's no way that could be possible. To recognize it is possible. And even if you're feeling that way, it doesn't mean that you're not meant to do that or that you don't have what it takes. Just believe enough and step out and know that you can.
Oh, thank you. Can you sing something for us
Oh,
now?
I'd love to.
Yes, please. Can you do that?
Yes.
That's anything that you like. I was like, we didn't ask you in advance, so I hope it's
That's
okay.
okay.
I would absolutely love, something that you love, something that inspires you.
Yes.
The stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, it's perfect because actually we just talked about how I wished I could sing in that kind of bluesy way. So let's do that. All right?
Yes. Okay, let's do that.
So
yes.
like this, and if you're at home, you can do this too.
Okay, I will do this.
Okay. You never get nothing by being no angel child. You better change your ways and get real wild. I'm gonna tell you something, won't tell you no lie. Wild women, the only women that really get by, 'cause wild women don't worry. Wild women never Get the blues.
Wow! Lynn, thank you so much. That was incredible. And that was Lynn Rose on YanaTV. As you can see, guys, she's phenomenal. So do take all the lessons that she shared. Reach out for the community, trust the network, be courageous to step out there and address your pain so you can grow in this incredible human being that you are and that you are meant to be and serve the world. And we talk to you next week.
Because we are very emotional creatures, we tend to feel a lot and we get affected, and that affects the whole momentum of everything. And I've seen many women who hibernate and doesn't want to come out anymore because of this. So I feel like this preparedness to really face, the not just the inner critic, that's the first part, but also to face the people who are criticizing us from the outside, and then be able to embrace who we really are. And then Brené Brown said that you just have an arena and you put the people who are not into you and you just put them in the stadium. There's a space for them to boo you. Just allow them to be there. Just allow them to be there because you. And then as you see them booing you, look around the whole stadium, people like actually cheering you and pom-pom cheering you. So it's fine.